Have you ever wondered what makes up the things around you? Like this pencil in your hand? Everything you can see and touch is made of tiny building blocks. These blocks are called atoms. They are so incredibly small that you can't see them with your eyes, but they are the secret recipe for everything in the entire universe. Our story begins in 1803 with a scientist named John Dalton. He was the first person to use scientific evidence to prove that atoms actually exist. Dalton believed that atoms were solid spheres, like perfect little marbles. He also realized that atoms of the same element, like oxygen, are all identical. One of his biggest ideas was about chemical reactions. He discovered that atoms aren't created or destroyed during a reaction, they just rearrange themselves. Think of them like building blocks. When you take a Lego house apart and build a car, the blocks are still there, they just look different. That's a chemical reaction. Dalton also found that elements combine in fixed simple ratios. For example, in carbon dioxide, there is always exactly one carbon for every two oxygens, every single time. But Dalton's model wasn't perfect. In 1897, J.J. Thomson discovered that atoms actually have even smaller parts inside. He used a special glass tube to find them. He discovered the electron, a tiny, negatively charged particle. This was a massive breakthrough because it proved that atoms could be broken down further. Thomson imagined the atom looked like a plum pudding. Imagine a positive sphere of pudding with negative electrons stuck inside, just like chocolate chips. Then came Ernest Rutherford. He decided to test this pudding model by shooting fast-moving positive particles at a thin piece of gold foil. He expected them all to go straight through. Most of them did, but a few bounced right back. Rutherford was stunned. He realized the atom isn't a solid pudding, it's actually mostly empty space. He discovered the nucleus, a tiny positive center that holds almost all the atom's mass. Imagine a tiny marble in the middle of a giant stadium. That's the nucleus. In 1909, Robert Millikan used these floating oil drops to measure the exact charge of a single electron. He proved that even the tiniest things follow the laws of math. Finally, James Chadwick found the last piece of the puzzle, the neutron. It lives in the nucleus with the protons, adding mass but no extra charge. Now the atom was balanced. So here it is, the modern atom, a positive nucleus of protons and neutrons with negative electrons orbiting around like planets around a sun. From Dalton's solid sphere to Chadwick's neutron, we've come a long way. Science is all about building on the ideas of the past to discover the truth. Now you know how scientists discovered the atom step by step. If you loved this science adventure, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Learn with Adeesha. See you next time.